Rose State College, the city.
Uniforms.
Had a dance competition there. It was good fun.
Hanger.
I had a couple softball players.
You have a picture.
Yeah, I love it.
We start at 6 o'clock.
I don't know why. There would be a difference, but there's a difference.
Hour?
Yep. Got it.
Are we drunk?
Ready?
I believe so.
Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, call to order, roll call, and establish a quorum.
Mayor,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Stand for prayer. We'll try not to cry, okay? Father, we come to you this evening. Our community has some heavy hearts. What's happened in the last week and a half, Father, and the loss of children and a woman in the community. And Father, I just pray right now for our community to find some peace and that you would wrap your arms around them. I pray, Father, that you would help our community continue to serve these people and support them and lift them up in whatever area that they need, Father. I just thank you and I praise your name, and I pray tonight that you would bless us with your spirit in this room, that you would bless every family and every family member that's represented here tonight and that's watching online. Father, I pray that you would bless this commission with wisdom and discernment, and that we would make the decisions that are best for our city, whether they be tough or not. In Jesus' precious name, I ask all these things. Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 4, consideration action of consent agenda. I'm not going to separate everything out, but I just want to mention some names that are in it. We've got a resolution appointing an at-large trustee of the Perkins Industrial Development Authority, which is Renee Hagler. The only reason I'm pulling these out and mentioning them is just because these are volunteers who stepped up. Reappointment of Megan Douthit, Kayon White, Marnie Moody to Park and Rec Board, and the approval of the appointment of Courtney Hart, Lene DeMuth, Dustin Pettit, and J.C. Duncan to the Park and Rec Board. Commissioners, is there any other thing that you'd like to pull out and discuss on the consent agenda? Okay, number 5, consideration of items removed, so we've done that.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I move we approve.
I'll second.
Aaron,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Justin.
Yes.
Public appearances, petitions, remonstrances, communications, and personal appearances. Under Oklahoma law, the city commission members are prohibited from discussing or taking any action on items not on today's agenda. Nobody? Okay, pass. No action? All right, number 7, consideration and discussion regarding the Kirk Avenue project with project manager Michael Taylor, Cowan Group Engineering. Mr. Taylor, how are you tonight?
Good. How about you?
You let your mustache grow out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good, you gotta twist it up as it starts to grow.
Okay. I will. Don't have any wax in it today.
I can get you some if you need some.
All right. For the update for the project, it's substantially complete, operational. We're still working through punch list items right now with the contractor. They've been out there the last few days cleaning things up.
I see y'all out there today.
Yeah, they were this
Working on
morning.
punch list?
Yeah.
Okay. When do you see the punch list being finished?
This week.
This week?
Yeah, they were aiming to get it done today.
Okay.
I still got to probably drive it one more
Do
time.
you have anything come up, or was it just didn't get finished today?
Little things, just getting things to dry out, kind of delayed them in the bottoms of the ditches and.
Should be dry by the end of this week.
Yeah.
It's hard. Commissioners, any?
Yeah, just one thing, Michael, I wanted to visit about just a little bit. We have a completion review where we look at maybe our plan versus our completed project, final elevations, that kind of thing, and then review volume changes. I know we've seen that from you, but will there be an engineering review at the end of some kind? And then kind of a lessons learned, because obviously we had a lot to learn.
We certainly could set up like an as-built review meeting. We do not have those done yet, but we will be submitting as-builts for the changes or utilities found so that we know where they're at now.
Does that go through Mr. Ernst first, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'd submit them to the
To
city.
him?
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioners? Mr. Ernst?
Is it your goal to have something here at this meeting?
Doesn't necessarily have to be at the meeting. I just wonder if we can have a lot of big projects would have an engineering review at the end to kind of look back at lessons learned so that we can document things that we would do differently next time, if anything, and compare what we expected from the beginning to what we wound up with at the end and see if they're, just so that we document that for.
No, that's perfectly normal. Yeah.
At our next regular meeting, or? is
I
that-
think what Aaron's asking is if we could get a group together, right? Not necessarily.
Yeah, once you have all of that done, then if anybody on the commission wanted to take a look at that, I would. I mean, I'm kind of a nerd like that. I would like to see that. Just once you guys have it done, then just let us know, and we can pop in one at a time or whatever, and do a review and understand. Yeah, just.
Well, I think that would help me get caught up, honestly, on some things. So on this right here, there's no action. And Mr. Taylor, thank you very much. Okay, number 8, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve Kearns Construction contractor pay application 17, the final one, for the Kirk Avenue project in the amount of $1,091,724.93. Holding retainage for punch list items refunded by the general obligation bond in the amount of $1.8 million, approved by an election on April 2nd, 2019. Mr. Taylor?
So this is final, but like it says, we're holding a retainage of 5% for the entire project. We would, I guess, recommend the approval of the final payment. Once the punch list items are approved, done, then we could release retainage. But the 191,724.93 does not include that retainage.
What? It does.
Does not include the retainage.
So this is the final big payment. There'll be a 5% retainage, and we'll see what it is at our next meeting. Is it?
We can do that. You can do that, or you can authorize it to be paid upon everything being complete.
So we can authorize that tonight upon,
No, actually you can't, because that's not on the agenda.
okay.
We're only doing the application number 17 at this point.
So we'll be back at the next meeting.
Thanks, Tammy. Tammy, if you have any complaints, Bob, talk to her.
No, it won't.
I mean, the reason I asked is we received it in the packet, and I was,
That's good.
okay. So this is going to be tabled to the next meeting?
No,
Moving forward, or no action?
No,
Make a motion to approve this
Okay,
payment.
we're approving it.
Second.
We'll do a final one, hopefully,
Okay.
at the next meeting.
Understood.
Aaron?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Autumn?
Abstain?
Sarah?
Yes.
Okay. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve Betco, I hope I said that right, LLC contractor pay application number 1 for the RV lift station project in the amount of $96,498.15, funded through American Rescue Act American Rescue Plan Act and Rural Economic Action Plan grant. Is that you as well, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, this is for the rehab of the RV lift station. The rehab is operational and running, so this is I think it's 90% of the contract amount. They still have to put in altitude, or I keep calling them altitude, air relief valves that we had in the contract, which is not in this. So we recommend payment since it is operational and they've installed everything they said they have.
That's the one out by Iron Pride. It went through pretty quick.
They did.
I was impressed, actually, and then they worked through probably some muddy issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got pushed off because it rained one day, but they were able to get everything else done.
So what exactly are we waiting on?
That air relief valves on the line, there's 2 of them that they're replacing that have caused some issues in the past as well. That was part of the alternate.
And also, they're gonna lay sod.
Yes.
So
I ordered sod, it was delivered today, it'll be late, they'll be here tomorrow.
And we have to figure out a way to get water to that sod.
Oh, we figured it out, but yes.
is there a hydrant over there?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Aaron,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor,
Yes.
Justin,
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Time. All right, item agenda number 10, consideration, discussion, and possible action to review letters of interest and select candidate for Perkins Industrial Development Authority. One opening, appointed trustee position with term ending April 30th, 2023. Staff report.
We didn't receive any.
Didn't receive any? So we need to table it, move it forward, and keep trying?
Can we just ask you to re-advertise again? That,
I'll put it on too as well.
appreciate that. And we'll beat the bushes a little bit, or I'll beat the bushes a little bit.
So in the consent,
Action, whatever.
so Bob, on the consent agenda, we accepted Max Rudd's resignation. Does that leave us with 2 openings or still just 1?
One,
Okay, all right.
because of
Okay, yes, Renee, thank you again for volunteering for that. So we need to table this or no action?
or no action.
No action on this tonight? Okay. Okay. Item, yes? Yes, ma'am? Okay, sorry. All right, number 11, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve the final plat and accept the public ways in service and utility easements for Kinder Wells, Section 9.
I would request no action, this is an error.
This is?
We were anticipating the work being done and then we kept getting rain, so it'll be July. That should have been removed prior to, I missed it.
It's okay. Move to July.
Just no action.
Yeah, no action.
We'll
That
put
was
it back
something
on
else.
when it's ready.
Okay. All right, number 12, consideration, discussion, and possible action to select Outlaw Field Services as the contractor for the drainage project on ditch north of Kirk Street that runs from the Oklahoma Territorial Plaza to Lover's Lane and crosses 4th Street at a cost of $21,150, utilizing CARES Act funding.
This is the one that we took quotes on. We got 2 quotes. One was, they're in your packet, one was 47 something, and then this one for 21,150. I spoke to the contractor, he's confident he can do it. And this would also authorize the use of the CARES Act funding by the commission for this project.
And you had told me he's got that machine that,
Yeah, I think he's gonna go through the forestry machine
okay,
that shreds the underbrush and then start moving dirt after he gets everything out of the way.
okay. I like the fact that he's gonna take up all of those Man-made.
bridges.
Yeah.
And he's local. Well, both
Yeah.
people that have quotes are local.
Gonna remove the
He's
the
an-
earth bridges, which I saw those and they're just in the way. That drain pipe is,
Well, the last heavy rain, Spencer's in the back of the room, I think. He, on one side of the yard that was filled in that drainage easement, on the, Spencer, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but on the west side of that yard in the ditch, the water was about 20 feet wide. On the east side of that yard that has been filled in, the water in the ditch was about 7 feet wide. So it's just restricting the flow terribly.
and that's the yard where you had to remove the fence.
Yes.
Same yard where the soccer ball was in front of the pipe.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, the water's pooling on the upstream side of that where it blocks off. There's some pipes in there, but there's so much leaves and limbs and stuff that it's restricted and it just can't keep up whenever we get a heavy rain.
Well, I like the cost, and I also like the fact that he's got that machine that can take care of the issue and mulch things at the same time. So, any other commissioners have questions or anything? I move to approve number 12 with Outlaw Field Services doing that job for us.
I'll second.
Mayor?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Autumn?
Abstain.
Justin?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
All right, consideration, discussion, and possible action to select Outlaw Field Services as the contractor for the drainage project between 603 and 605 North Methodist at a cost of $5,150, utilizing CARES Act funding.
This is below the spending limit of the city manager, but the purpose for this is to get approval to use the CARES Act funding.
Okay.
And this would be to finish cleaning the Methodist ditch and removing an island, basically, that's in the ditch. There's a lot of sand that needs to be.
Yeah, the sand dune.
Yeah, the sand dune.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Aaron?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Autumn?
Abstain.
Justin?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding the process for the selection of city commission's appointees to the library trust.
I actually suggested that this be put on just in discussion with Rachel. I review, I think, all of the agendas for the different boards and trusts and commissions, planning commission. And I had seen on the library trust agenda that they were going to consider recommending someone to you, and which apparently they didn't do at the meeting, but it was on an agenda. And then I saw on a draft agenda for this meeting something about appointing, and so I asked Rachel, I said, well, don't we need for the commission to decide what procedure they want to use for this? And she said in the past that there has been a recommendation and then an appointment. And I said, okay, and that may be how you want to do it now, or you may want to follow the procedure that you adopted for the board, for the Park and Rec board and the PIDA. And my feeling was that really staff could use your direction on how to do that, on how you wish to proceed.
When I read this, my first thought came to that we should stay in line with what we've already said with the Park and Rec board and with PIDA. I don't know what your opinions are, but I just think that
And routine.
yes, it's all going to stay in alignment. I think we've kind of set a precedence already for what we did in the last month in putting boards back together and trustees in place. That's my opinion. And I think that it would actually be easier on Rachel and the city staff if we stayed in alignment like that. And then there's not a question. I mean, we can answer any questions that people throw at us if we keep it that way. That doesn't mean we can't go out and recommend people and say, hey, put your name in the pot. So, yes?
Autumn, you've had more experience on the library trust than any of us. What are your thoughts?
I find it weird sometimes to discuss because I'm like, I don't know, you know. And actually, if you go back and watch the library trust meeting, that was kind of my thought was we've often looked for someone who we thought would want to do it, and we are struggling to find that. And I actually had said we have that option, and so I'm fine with it. And it may open up a horizon of people that we wouldn't have initially thought of anyway. So,
But look what it did for the Park and Rec.
I think it
Brought out, I think it helped bring out the interest in the rebuilding of the boards that we need to after COVID, after whatever, after complacency or whatever's gone on in our lives. It's kind of brought back to life, and I think we need that.
Oh no, I
And
agree.
then it'll bring more volunteers to the surface that our city needs in other areas.
I personally do not have a problem with going that route at all as a library trust member. And I mean, it felt like I had expressed that in the library meeting, so I wanted you guys to have a chance to discuss it without me putting my sense in as far as being on both boards.
We have such a wonderful, diverse group up here that if that's your specialty, like for Park and Rec, if it's okay for me to speak up and
No,
say, I think.
I was waiting my turn. I
Okay.
I was gonna get there eventually. I just wanted you guys to
Thank
have
you,
an opportunity.
Commissioner Box.
I wanted you guys to have an opportunity to express yourself
I
without
appreciate
being
that.
jaded one way or the other about how I felt about it.
I appreciate you thinking about the city staff and how any decision that we make is gonna affect our staff, and we're already overbooked, overstretched, and I appreciate the commission just kind of liking that, the fact that we can keep it on, I don't wanna say the straight and narrow, but the same path. Consistency, there you go. So, suggestions on how to proceed forward on item agenda 14.
Matters of interest?
Yes. And just kind of word it the way we did the last time, Rachel.
Was it a motion?
Okay. I make a motion that we go forward and reword or word it similarly to how we did for the PIDA board and how we did for the Park and Rec board.
We adopt the process
Yes.
that was used for the
Yes.
appointment of.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your help.
members. okay.
Bad luck.
I second.
Mayor?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Autumn?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Feisty up here tonight. Okay, item agenda number 15. Under the Open Meetings Act, this agenda item is authorized only for matters not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the time of posting the agenda or any revised agenda. Any staff? Okay, no one in the audience? All right. Commissioners? Always want to ask. I don't want to
Appreciate that.
jump forward. Okay, so no action. 16, adjourn. I make a
Second.
motion. You're gonna make a motion
You
that
gotta
we
make a
adjourn.
motion first.
All 5 of us made no.
Everybody seconds it.
Was it Autumn?
It was Autumn, yes ma'am.
Autumn?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Okay. Public Works. Moving on to the Perkins Public Works Authority regular meeting, June 14th. Call to order, roll call, and establish a quorum. Rachel?
Mayor,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
All right, consideration action on consent agenda. Anyone from the commission?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I'm so sorry. Okay, Aaron,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes.
All right.
No.
She was so proud of herself for waiting to
I
call the roll
was.
until after you called the meeting.
Rachel?
I know, that's what was happening.
Did that throw your timing off?
I was proud of you
I
too.
was like, you go. She's getting it done, you know? Okay. We do appreciate you, Rachel.
Thank you.
I don't think you realize how
I
much.
appreciate you all too.
And
Thank you.
if the city doesn't get it, I can tell them about it. Okay, item number 4, public appearances, petitions, remonstrances, communications, and personal appearances. Under the Oklahoma law, city commission members are prohibited from discussing or taking any action on items not on today's agenda. Anyone in the audience? That would be a negative. Okay. Number 5, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding Davis sanitation and fuel surcharge expense pursuant to contract dated May 20th, 2020. Mr. Ernst.
So we received 3 bills from Davis Sanitation at the same time, which turned out to be an issue this time because the fuel surcharge has been added on there. The contract states that for every dollar over $2.75 in cost per gallon, there's a extra 15%, I think, put on the bill. So the goal of this agenda item is to decide how the commission would like to handle that fuel surcharge, because we do not have the funds budgeted to pay for it, and, for an extended period. I spoke to Jim Davis. They have had some internal issues with billing, and it hasn't been an issue because by law, we don't pay a bill until we receive an invoice. And since we basically know how much the bill's gonna be, we can set that money aside and move on. Well, now that the fuel surcharge kicked in, which he's hesitated and held off on putting it through, and he could have put it through quite a while back. So I thanked him for that, but I think my recommendation would be for the city to pay for basically 2 months of this, because it's in the past, and then pass the cost along to the customer, dividing the fuel surcharge equally to each customer, and then being transparent about that process where we'll get the fuel bill, which I put one in the packet, 2 of them in the packet. We should get that. He gets it around the 15th of the month is when he orders fuel. So we'll know what the fuel surcharge is going to be. We could put that on social media or not. But that's how the next fuel surcharge would be determined. Basically, we'd be running a month behind. We researched doing different, splitting out commercial customers versus residential customers. And then we had some conversations about the residential customer that has 2 or 3 polycards versus a residential customer that has 1 polycard. And in dealing with our software provider, the easiest way is to just divide it by, like right now there's 1,462 customers. Divide that 6,000 number by that, and that's the fuel surcharge. If we get into breaking out commercial and residential, it's good. Basically, the whole thing has to be done manually by hand, and it would be a nightmare.
And
Then you're adding on the staff time as well.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have that surcharge printed on the bill that we get?
Yes, it will
I
be.
think, okay, because
And
I
that's
think that would
covered.
be
Yeah.
valuable information to the consumer,
And that, it would, the goal would be the fuel surcharge is gonna vary. Hopefully it goes to zero eventually.
Well, from reading the contract, they could have increased the surcharge a long time ago
Yeah.
and did not.
It's
I appreciate you impressing upon them that we need timely
Yeah, we have to have.
bills
Absolutely.
reported. I do realize that this is a tough decision that the commission has to make, but then it's not. I mean, that affects us on the commission as well. And in all transparency, like you said, if you look at the paperwork, we went from 14% fuel charge in March, which that's totally over what they signed a contract for. So again, they could have raised it a long time ago. And we go from 14% in April, 26%, and in May, 27%. And again, the city's gonna have to take action on that.
I think for messaging, it would be important to say that the fuel surcharge is less than the price of 1 gallon of diesel for each customer on a monthly basis. So
And I think,
I hate to add $4.19 is what we looked at for one case, but I hate to add that to any of our residents. At the same time, it's something that
it's a service that's being.
service that's being provided, and it's a straightforward fee. So
well, the thing
the
of
city's
it,
being charged, and we're just passing it along. We're not making money on it.
right, the thing of it too that we need to all understand is the fact that if prices do go down, this surcharge goes away as well. And it will be on our bills. And when I say our, it will be on our bills. I mean, it's gonna affect all of us. I'm a school teacher. My husband's self-employed, so it's difficult for all of us. Commissioner Foth, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I was actually curious, if it's, I don't know how those bills are printed, but is it possible to either put a QR code that links to the fuel bill? It's not, okay.
Not yet.
Is it possible, like, I know sometimes in the bottom it has like our website, where maybe on the front page of our website we could put like really distinctively, if you have questions, look here. I was just thinking a QR code would take them instantly.
Unfortunately, I can't do images on there.
Okay.
But, I mean, we had talked about doing the push out of information, getting something to the newspaper and doing the text message.
That's my next
on the
question.
Page, put it on the utility page.
Yeah.
How about, I mean, we got the Perkins Public Community Watch page. Maybe all of us can put them on our ward pages. I know Sarah's got a Ward 3 page. Put them all on our ward pages and just like make sure the information is out. I think
everybody will
I
understand when they
think
know
will,
that it's.
because, you know, information is what they want. And if we get that out there, this is why. I don't think we'll have as many complaints as we might think, because customers just want to know, and we all are feeling the crunch of the fuel. So I think it's just like, I'm not gonna say common sense, but I just gonna think that it's a thing we're dealing with right now.
As long as they have, as long as we give them upfront information of this, that if this happens, then this happens.
Right.
So.
Anyone else? Okay.
So I think we need an action item to pass the fuel surcharge on to the customer. Wouldn't we?
No, because the action item is by adopting the amended resolution.
Oh, okay.
It's in 6.
The way, and I'll tell you, it was complicated.
It's in the following
Rachel and I
resolutions.
Figure out how to do this in the agenda, but what we were thinking was that unless you chose, we put this item number 5 on because you could choose to do something other than what is being recommended.
Okay.
If you choose to do what is being recommended, or if no one wants to make a motion to recommend something else, there's no action needed on number 5. And then number than the other four would be necessary to pass this cost on to customers.
I, for one, thank both of you for putting that on there so that we could discuss it. But I tend to agree with the no action and it's in black and white.
Yeah. Unless if nobody makes a motion, you can move on.
Okay. All right, item agenda number 6. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve purchase order 22-06037 in the amount of $15,960.61 to Davis Sanitation for fuel charges as follows. March is 14%, so that would be $3,173.02, and April is 26%, $5,790.67, and May went up 27%, $6,132.92. Staff report, Mr. Ernst.
We need this agenda because we've exceeded the amount that was previously approved by the commission on the purchase order. And this goes back to the city's basically going to eat the 317302 and the 579067. And that'll be handled in the next agenda item on where do we have the money to pay this purchase order. It's basically coming out of your savings.
Anybody discuss? I appreciate what you've done here, Bob. It's not easy to make that, so I make a motion that we approve item number 6 and approve the purchase order.
I'll second.
Mayor?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Autumn?
Yes, ma'am.
Sarah?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Item number 7, consideration, discussion, possible action to approve budget amendment, sanitation, Davis Sanitation, fuel charge expense, March, April, May, pursuant to contract dated May 20th, 2020.
This is the budget amendment that says that total from item 6 is coming out of savings, being moved into the Fund 02 to pay the bill.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendment.
I second it.
Autumn?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes,
Eric?
Yes.
I'm appreciative that we have a savings.
Commissioner Ravello, you are spot on. That gave me goosebumps. Because, we could just thank you guys for that. And
I said
thank
thank
you,
you.
Ray.
I know. I know.
Thank Rachel for saying no to Bob. I just want you to look at him sometime and go, that'd be a hard pass, sir. And just say that's from the mayor. No.
I said, sir.
There's been worse. Just saying.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 8. Consider discussion and possible action to approve resolution 9-2022, a resolution amending solid waste collection fees for fiscal year 2023.
All of our fees are in resolution form, so this allows the fuel surcharge to be passed along as it's written on the resolution, which says the fuel surcharge rate will be calculated a month in arrears and based on the actual cost of fuel to be divided equally by the number of customers receiving sanitation service and added to the solid waste collection fees.
And Rachel, tell them the difference between resolution 9,
We have to do one for this year, one for next year.
Yes.
So we
And our
can do it this
utility
month.
billing clerk actually came
And-
and brought that up, so yay, Eddie.
So,
So we can put it on the bills that are gonna go out.
right, so we have to get one out there, a resolution that finishes out 2020, and then we're making a resolution.
2022.
Okay, so thank you. In the past, I guess.
Let's not go backwards, please.
Let's not do 2020.
I was going off the contract.
I don't want to do that here again.
So to finish 2022, oh my goodness, I'm sorry for scarring you there. And then looking forward to 2023, correct? So that's what the 2 item agendas are. So I make a motion that we accept Resolution 9-2022
I'll second.
for the year 2023. I approve. Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor?
Yes.
Autumn?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Aaron?
I know they're always. Sorry, I was still lost in. Miss you and give me that motherly look.
Oh, I never did that.
No, but we appreciate it. Item agenda number 9, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve Resolution 10-2022, a resolution amending solid waste collection fees for fiscal year 2022.
So we can do it now, yeah.
I make a motion that we approve item agenda number 9, resolution 10-2022 for fiscal year 2022.
A second.
Did I do that okay?
Mayor?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Autumn? Yes. Justin?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Number 10, new business.
I do have one thing. I received an email today that was kind of exciting from Senator Inhofe's office. Ryan Spruill, he's one of the field guys for Senator Inhofe, but the senator put in a congressionally directed spending request for the city of Perkins, where he would like to see us get $320,000 from the federal government to work on our sewer lines in the historical part of town. So I know I've been talking to Ryan with Senator Inhofe's office over the years about that, and I suspect Commissioner Box may have mentioned it as well. But so it, it's not approved, but it made it through the first committee, and I thought that was pretty neat.
That's awesome.
I do too. That's
And
pretty fantastic.
I would encourage the commission to go through Senator Inhofe's website, follow the process, and send him an email through his website that says you support that, and would encourage him to keep all.
Thank you. What was the exact wording on that thing?
I'll,
Just email it to
Does that say, can you forward it to us?
us? Email it to us? Copy and paste it?
You have copies of
since
it?
I made it.
Oh, I didn't know you were, I thought you had a
I
copy.
think I feel like
I want this.
teacher
I
getting minutes
know.
here.
This.
I thought you had a copy, and I was,
Wow. Thanks, Bob.
Yep.
oh.
Did you get kids in here? Are you surprised? Wow.
And there was an email conversation back and forth between myself and Senator Inhofe's office doing exactly. And I also asked him about the raise grant and asked him to put in a good word.
Which we're gonna discuss here pretty soon, right?
Hopefully in
The raise.
August.
Huh?
August probably.
The grant scribe is sending that off.
They did, yep.
It's already sent off, okay. Okay. No action on new business. Make a motion that we adjourn the regular meeting of the Perkins Public Works Authority.
Second.
Mayor?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Justin?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Next. We're not done yet.
Sorry.
We're not finished here.
4:30 was early. That's all I'm saying. 4:30 was early.
Okay, are we ready to move forward to the PIDA? Everybody ready? No, you're fine. Perkins Industrial Development Authority, special meeting and agenda. Rachel, call to order, roll call, and establish a quorum.
Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Autumn?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Oh, wait, she's official now, right?
Yep, she's official now.
I'm sorry, Renee. Renee, are you here? Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Atta girl. We're glad to have you in the room. Okay, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve the Perkins Industrial Development Authority operating budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 in the amount of $3,100.
This is on the agenda now because we didn't have a quorum when we previously did budgets. I was talking to myself earlier and got interrupted by two people, which was weird, but
Was it a good discussion?
Well, it was till I got interrupted. But this is to basically pay for the audit. And then, as I've stated before, and I know Commissioner Box has been, we're all working on a way to get PIDA more involved in economic development. But for right now, this will pay for the audit at the end of the year.
So, you've got some ideas for that, or is that in a later discussion in the next meeting?
Be a later discussion, maybe, I don't know if at the next meeting, that's soon,
Okay,
hopefully.
so Ms. Hagler can come up with some ideas, and we can all come up with some ideas to
Absolutely.
have a discussion about it, is that what?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I think that's one way to make this PIDA go forward. And correct me if I'm wrong, we have one more opening, is that correct? Remind me. And, okay, got it. So, I make a motion that we approve the Perkins Industrial Development Authority operating budget for 22-23.
I'll second.
I should have drank a spark.
Mayor,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Aaron,
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Justin.
Yes.
Renee.
Yes. Number 3, consideration, discussion, and possible action to acknowledge signature changes at Payne County Bank to remove former PIDA trustees and add current trustees.
So
Staff?
we have already taken care of the signature changes for Public Works and for the city, but we can't make any changes to the signature cards for PIDA until PIDA approves them. So it's just more of taking off past folks, putting on the new folks.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Wait, quick with the second part.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin,
Yes.
Renee.
Yes. Number 4, consideration, discussion, and possible action to acknowledge signature changes at First Bank and Trust to remove former PIDA trustees and add current trustees.
2 bank accounts.
Yes,
1
ma'am.
each bank.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
There you go. Yeah, you did.
It's dinner time.
Aaron,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
I was hungry. Yes.
9-hour days are kicking my rear.
Snacks.
I'm out of snacks.
Item agenda number 5. I make a motion that we adjourn the Perkins Industrial Development Authority meeting.
A second.
Sorry, can we just, like, 30 seconds?
We did.
All right, Mayor,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Autumn,
Yes, ma'am.
Aaron,
Yes.
Justin.